Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is Sunday. It's the next to last Sunday in October. Um, how is everybody? Awesome. Sorry I missed last week. It was one of those weeks where I only worked on basically like one project. So I had no haul. I only worked on like one thing, so I had nothing to really show. I'm sorry, Sarah R. I missed your question, which seems like it may have been a little time sensitive there, so hopefully it's not, because I'll answer it today. Um, so here we are. I hope everyone is doing well. All right, so we'll dive in. We've got some Q&A. We don't have any haul. One downside to when all of the haul for the month shows up on the first week. But that's okay. Alright, so we'll dive into the Q&A and I'll show you what I've worked on. So Sarah R. Asks, and this is for further clarification on how I do my eyelashes when it's called for. So what I did was I drew a little sketch. So the X is whatever color cross stitch you're doing. So it's the eye itself. The red lines are my single strand back stitch around it to outline it. I generally, unless it's just a really, really small, like if it's just like, if it's a human, I will always do it. If it's an animal, depending on how big the animal is and how full the eye looks without it, I will also still generally do it. Usually burbs are about the only time I don't. And that's usually because they're so small that the back stitch ends up overwhelming it, and then it's like, small little bird, big eye. But on dogs, lions, monkeys, I think the sort of animals I normally have, and it's usually dogs, monkeys, or lions. So, there you go. So I'll do one strand to outline, and then if it's a character that's got to have eyelashes, that's when I do the double strand of across. So this is obviously over the top, over to the next stitch. So there would be another stitch here. We'll do, just for illustrative purposes, that pen does not write. I have no idea what color ink this is going to be. Hopefully it's not blue. Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, so across the top of the next stitch, and then I do the, so I'll always do this one first, usually, so that way this goes just straight across. And I do this as one long stitch. So that's how I do them. I hope that helped. And again, you don't have to do two strands. I usually do partially because a lot of times if you're not careful, then you lose that diagonal stitch. But partially also because I really like the 1960s, 70s, like, thick eyelashes. Alright, so that was actually really the only Q&A. Kara Dayoff did request that I show the patterns to the pieces that I'm working on, and generally I do. Last week I just kind of got out of the habit, I think, last week, because got a little rusty on my floss tubing. So, do apologize. I do try to show the pattern where I've got a pattern available. Sometimes on like mystery stitch-alongs where they don't give you a cover photo. It's kind of all I got. So, let's see. What did I work on? Well, I've been working on, I did actually carry this one into last weekend because I was enjoying it so much. I've been working on Snow White Retelling by FlossyFoxShop. Let's see, and I do have its full pattern that I can show you. It's been my work project. So obviously I got the top corner here done. Now I'm over here, so I've got there's a window here. Obviously, this is the magic mirror, and then I've got the rooftop and some flowers, and then I will be done over here, and we can move on to the bottom. So this is what the full pattern looks like. So not a whole lot left, because I think this bottom part's going to go fairly quickly once it's done, or once I'm done up here. So, like, 100% I could finish this one this month if I just focused on it. But I'm enjoying it, so I don't want to rush through it too much. And then the next one up will be, and I don't know if I've already downloaded it or not, I don't think I have, will be her Cinderella, which uses the same floss colors, so I can just keep everything in the bag, pick a new fabric, and move over to that. So, really enjoying this one. Alright. What else have I worked on? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, I worked on Great Gatsby by Stitching Book Club, and I got the title. So I basically got the center done, so I'm down to the borders. This is just on a black even weave. That one was on a... It's from Forbidden Fiber Company. I think it's called Lullaby. So this is just on good old black, using mostly the called for colors. I did decide to do the back stitching in a gold treasure braid because I'm me. I'm actually very, very pleased at how my back stitching of his name came out, because that's usually something I struggle with, is making those back stitched names look good. So the full pattern, where are you? I just saw you on my thing. What's it? You're farther down than I thought you were. So here's the full pattern. So this is one that I really like to work on more on weekends, where I've got kind of long uninterrupted time on. But I think once I get going on the border, I don't think it's going to take all that long. Hopefully not, at least. So my plan, hopefully, is to have it done next month, then do my last two smalls for Christmas Carol. And then, at that point, I will be up to date on all the Stitching Book Clubs. See, then, my other Whipco goal this month was Snow White by Brooke's Books. So here's the pattern. So there's the full pattern. So my plan was, and I achieved it, was to finish the apron out. Now normally I wouldn't have backstitched this one as I was going, because I like seeing how it comes together at the end, but because of the way the colors were in this one, I was a little afraid that if I stopped looking at it, I wasn't going to be able to figure out where I needed to stitch. So there is the apron done. This is on Ale by Picture This Plus. So the next step is going to be to work on the stuff under the apron, the design there, so that then I can just fill in the black. Because otherwise, yeah, that's really about last big piece to it. And then we'll do the rest of the cape. And then the Kreinik. The one exception being I had to do the one little bit of Kreinik that's on the pocket because I needed that for the back stitching. And then we'll be good. Then we'll basically be done. And then I don't know if I'll go straight to another princess or if I'm going to take a break and work on one of the Bella Filipinas that I've got. All right. Then I pulled out of the archives this one. Now, this is one I started a couple of years ago. But the fabric I started on was kind of weirdly cut, and this piece has a bunch of specialty stitches, and it was kind of warping the fabric as well, and I thought, you know what, I don't feel comfortable trying to keep doing it on this. So, got it on a different piece of fabric, and restarted it on my birthday, got about 10 stitches in, and realized I really don't like the color that it called for, and then I put it to the side, and so I brought it back this time. So this is Sanctuary from the Drawn Thread. So there's the full pattern. So this calls for steel from the Caron Collection Water Lilies, but my steel was very gray, so it didn't really look like water. So I'm instead using a blue from Fabrics by LJ, which is no longer in business. I'm stitching this on Caravan Tan from Fortnite Fabrics, but there we go. I got the pool and I got the non-ornamental specialty stitches done. I did not realize I was supposed to use one stitch on the pots until I was done with the pots. So the pots are thicker than they were meant to be, but that's okay. I think that kind of works for them. So everywhere else I'll be paying close attention. But yeah, so my plan is on this one, because as you can see, there's lots of like satin style stitches like in between there. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but in between there's lots and lots of satin stitches and sort of ornamental ones. So I'm actually going to save those towards the end to try and make sure that I've got my fabric as strong as possible. So that way when I start stitching those, they're hopefully less likely to pull the fabric in weird directions. All right. And then this one I don't have a full picture for, but I brought back out my Witchy Dreams by Barbara Anna. So I had parts 1 done, I had part 2 done, I had the hat done. So now I've started the hair, or the face, and filling in the inside of the hat. Because my idea was I wanted to turn it, instead of a girl, into me. So there we go. So I'm working on that one. Really enjoying it. Yeah. So that is what I'm going to go continue working on. Yeah, this is kind of a shorter video. There's no haul or Q&A, it makes it a little bit shorter. I've fallen down a rabbit hole of Muffy Vanderbeer. I don't know if anybody else besides me remembers her, but this is her. She was a stuffed bear in the late 80s, early 90s from North American Bear Company, and she has all sorts of outfits and dresses, and she has a friend who's a rabbit, and yeah, I've fallen down that rabbit hole. So, yeah. If anyone remembers her, shout out below. And yeah, so I will maybe see y'all next week. If I don't see you before, have a very happy Halloween and a blessed Samhain to those who observe Samhain. And I will see y'all next time.